What is going on, guys? Welcome back to episode number 2 of Lex News, and happy 2025 to you guys. Happy New Year. I hope you have an awesome year. We have so much news to cover. 4 different segments as always. The car news, where we talk about anything and everything car related. The turbo trends, where we talk about any trends in the market that are happening right now. Motor Mania, where we talk about super cool, awesome, custom, one-of-a-kind builds in this world. And of course, Did You Know, where I go over some things that you probably haven't heard about and never thought about. Ooh, boys, let's go ahead and jump into it. And of course, we're going to talk about Mopar. We're going to talk about Stellantis, guys. You've probably seen all over TikTok and everywhere else. That is the talk of the town, the talk of the world for that matter, because Stellantis in charge of 15 different car brands here in North America and of course Europe as well, all over the world. Unfortunately, and fortunately for some of us, Carlos Tavares, the CEO of Stellantis, has stepped down, and of course the board accepted that. As we all know, Stellantis has been dropping in sales year over year. Actually, in fact, the last quarter of 2024, it was 20% drop in sales since 2023. That's a big hard hit for a company like that. Imagine going from 100 cars to 80 cars to going to 60 cars sales. I mean, you're looking at an empty lot in the next 2-3 years. So of course some changes had to happen, and in cases like these, usually changes will happen from the top and work its way down. Now, until the new CEO gets elected, John Elkann is the one that's kind of running the show. He is the I guess the chairman of the board, so he's the top guy, and they're waiting for someone to get picked for the new person. In my personal preference, I really hope it is the gentleman that ran the SRT division until 2021, when it kind of got disbanded and merged together with Ram. His name is Tim Kanuskis, and I would love to see a 6.2 Hemi Hellcat motor stick around for a lot longer. You probably haven't heard this yet, but Calo and Stellantis just finished their transaction, and basically Calo is this big robotics company that Stellantis had some shares in, and they let Calo completely take it over and be the major shareholder. That way they can run the show. They're the ones that are responsible for building all these Stellantis cars, especially in Europe. So that should definitely revitalize and really increase the production in Europe. So Stellantis is not really failing in that sense, because they have so many different brands as well that they work with out there in Europe. But in North America, for whatever reason, they're just not doing so good. I have a 2024 Ram 3500 that I purchased just a few months ago. They literally gave me like $26,000 off this truck just so I can buy it, because it has sat on their lot for almost a year. Hopefully they bring in a good CEO for Stellantis that can revitalize the SRT division, so we can get our V8s and our Hellcats and Hemis back, because, well, I personally love my Hemis, man. They're such good, reliable engines. Yes, everything's going to the V6s, but in my personal preference, it's really hard to beat that NA V8 or supercharged V8 for that matter. Speaking of V8s, let's move on to Mercedes, because Mercedes, I'm a big AMG guy. I've owned the E63s, ML63, G63. I've owned so many different Mercedes. Like them a little better than the BMWs. They announced they are keeping the V8s alive. The V8 twin turbo, the true AMG engine, is sticking around for 2025. Why is that? Well, I don't know, but I could probably tell you. I personally hate the fact when I see the AMG label on literally every model that they make these days, whether it's a C43 class, which is like a V6 or inline 6 twin turbo. They put those on the electric EQ cars now that says AMG line. It is the dumbest thing. AMG used to mean something. AMG used to be that V8 twin turbo, the high horsepower production, the top of the line, but now it's something that they can put on every car just to make them look a little bit more fancy. It's more of a body kit in some cases than any performance. Luckily, the CLE63 is going to keep its V8 twin turbo for 2025. My opinion on this is the reason this happened is because, well, the new E63S for 2025 came out. E63, we're talking about, should be a V8 twin turbo like the previous generation. They stuck a four-cylinder into an AMG car with some hybrid technology and electric computers. Yes, it's 600 horsepower, but now you're adding these extra weight as well on top of it. Mercedes, come on, man. Get rid of the AMG stickers on literally every car, unless it truly is an AMG line product. Let's move on to the turbo trends, where we talk about the market trends. And of course, right now, the biggest thing, even in 2025, is the talk of the EVs. What is going on with the EV market? What's going to happen to it? Are they going to stick around? Are they going to continue going and taking over the naturally aspirated or the gas motors? Or are they going to, die down and be gone, especially with the new president coming in? So, it's a mixed bag when it comes to the EV market, right? I have a Tesla myself. I'm 50-50 on that car. It's some parts I love it, some parts I can't stand. Let's talk about the market outside of US right now. So China, last year, over 50% of vehicles sold were actually EV vehicles, which is a big deal. You're talking about every other car, every second car on the road is some sort of a hybrid or plug-in. That's a big change. Now, obviously, US is not there yet. In my personal opinion, I think we are also going to see that the market in the US is going to be converting more and more into the EV and the hybrid market. Hybrid, 100% the way to go. EV, complete trash in my opinion. Here's two big things that I think are going to happen in 2025, which is going to play the yin and the yang in this situation. Number one, of course, as you can tell, Tesla prices, the plug-in vehicle prices are definitely dropping. What I bought my Tesla Model Y for, when you can buy one for now, complete big difference. I mean, it's almost half the cost, which is insane. They're starting to get better driving ranges, which is a big plus. But at the same time, with the new president coming in, we're not sure if that $7,500 tax credit is still going to be around for anybody that purchases a new plug-in vehicle. That was a big perk of buying one of those. Not only do you get a discount from the dealership, but then you get $7,500 off on top of it, or assistance, you can say, from the government. So if that goes away, it is going to balance it out. So I did the math on my Tesla compared to how much I'm paying to charge it versus how much the gas prices are. In my area, they're about $2.60 a gallon right now. Technically, I'm getting around 33 to 35 miles per gallon. You could get a hybrid Camry or a Prius that gets like 40 to 50 miles a gallon, and you're not sitting for an hour charging up your Tesla. Let's move on to Motor Mania, where we talk about some unique, one-of-a-kind custom builds anywhere in the world. And I got two for you. The first one kind of very much pisses me off. Here's why. They took a race company in Thailand, took a Huracan Evo Super Trofeo, which is a complete straight up race car. They pulled the V10 naturally aspirated, beautiful sounding engine out and put a KA20C in there from a Civic Type R. Why did they do that? Well, because they think that the naturally aspirated V10 is not going to be as reliable for 24-hour endurance race as a Honda Civic motor would be. I probably agree with them, but it's not like they're going to put 100,000 miles on it in 24 hours, guys. I just don't understand why you pull that out. I personally had a 2017 R8 V10, same engine, same everything. Mine was twin turbo and it had 65,000 miles. We did a compression test on it. That sucker was bullets across the board. I think it was like 170, 180 PSI per cylinder. That thing was running great. That motor, unopened, is good for 1,500 horsepower, guys. So I'm not sure why they pulled it out. They said that most likely it was because, well, you know, wouldn't be able to stand up to the heat and everything else, especially in Thailand. And in other news, Boosted Boys did something crazy once again. They took the Model S Plaid Tesla that they had, that they put the minivan body on top of it for racing. Well, they just did the same thing to a Hellcat Challenger body, and quite honestly, they said it fit perfectly well. So that's something new. I never thought about it, you know, having an electric car in the Challenger, but again, that is coming, I guess, in 2025 with the Daytona edition that they're making. But it is pretty cool to see that they're able to just swap this heavy body with the battery pack and everything into literally anything and everything, you know. There is another guy that put an actual Hellcat, though, into a minivan, a Chrysler minivan, which I 100% agree with and approve, because I've actually always wanted to do something like that. So that was pretty cool to see Reach Rebuilds do something crazy like that. If you want to check out that video, I'll link it down below. Super interesting to see people be able to be so creative with these cars these days. There's just so many great options to choose from. We personally did a 2006 Dodge Charger with original 55,000 miles. We gutted it and we'll put an LS swap in there with the Power Glide. That is our drag race car for the channel. So if you like stuff like that, definitely subscribe, because next season is going to be, well, actually it's coming up in a few months. We're going to try to hit 5 seconds in the 8th mile. It is going to be super fun. And let's move on to the last segment, and that is Did You Know? Today we're going to go over the 2024 top resale value holding vehicles that you should probably choose from. And let's be honest, guys, we're always on Car Gurus, on Auto Trader, looking at different new vehicles we want to purchase. If you're looking for a 1 year older vehicle, which of course at this point should take the biggest hit of the depreciation and probably has the best purchase price at this point, KBB came out with their top 10, and well, you're not going to be surprised when half of the list is Toyotas, of course. Toyota 4Runner, GR Supra, the Prius, Tacoma, and Tundra. Now, I personally figured that the Porsche 911 would be the one that makes it on the list above a Corvette, especially the C8 Corvettes, when you see some C7s going for more money than the new generation Corvette. And of course, we all knew this, but the Mercedes G-Wagon made it for the luxury SUV class. That sucker is a tank. Yes, I did a video on it where I discussed trust how it's you know, a little quirky and definitely old school design, but they have made it a little bit better in the 2019 models and newer, but it is still a tank and very reliable for that matter, the G550s and the G63. So if you want to pick one of those luxury vehicles up and, well, you kind of like driving a boxy looking car, definitely grab you a G-Wagon. Thank you so much for watching Lex News. If you like what you're seeing, drop a like, drop a comment, and of course subscribe. Let me know when you want to see in the next episode, and I will see you guys in a few days. Peace.